Oh, Hi, everybody. Welcome to the PPC Radio Show. We are here today with, of course, the lovely Shelly Shell Williams and DJ Kid Disco's in the black right now. And then our special guest, Paula Coria, who is so special in many ways. One of them being she listens and supports the show. And she's my friend. So I can't wait to talk to her after the break.
WGFB-FM radio. So are you ready? How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365. After these messages, we'll be right back. The COVID.
Cinda Williams here, and welcome to the Grown Folks Radio World. Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I host the PPC Radio Show with Shelly Shell Williams.
Hey everybody, it's Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah.
We got some important stuff to talk about.
Fridays at noon Eastern, I present the PPC Podcast. It drops on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. Please join me for real talk, great guests, lots of laughs, and powerful, precious conversations that can fill your self-help treasure chest with gems.
Listen, you only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC Radio Show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Hey everybody, it is Shell Williams.
Hi, this is Cinda Williams, and I am so blessed to tell you about a new book on survival called Faith, Failure, Success, Volume 2, Surviving the Storm. Erica Summers, Martha Chavez, Latricia Rice, Nicole Reed, Vania Hudson, and I have come together to share our deepest challenges and how we overcame. Please check it out on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold.
WGFB-FM radio. So are you ready? How it used to be.
PPC, yeah. PPC, yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dare miss your blessings. Powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. PPC,
All right. Welcome to the PPC Radio Show. Our once a week time with you on this platform. Before we get going, let's say hi to William Frazier, who's been following you, Shelly, since urban days. And Vaughn wants to know, do Do they get some front row seats when there's a live studio audience? Hey, we're gonna have to work on that. Thank you, Vaughn. Says beautiful. What else? Somebody else said something. James said hi, and I'm not sure who else said because I lost it now. But I actually can see your comments today, so please share your thoughts. All right, Vaughn. So anyway, thank you so much for coming. Paula, I'm going to tell you about this because this is always put you out there moment. Yeah, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. Shelly Shell, this is your part. Go for it, y'all.
Hey, Paula, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you scared? Are you thinking? But what I want you to think about is this is our true confessions time. And you can tell us your true confession. It doesn't have to be all deep. Whatever it is, that true confession that you want to share. And then once you share, we have to follow suit. So make it I don't know. Let's see. What is your true confession? I don't feel like you're shook at all. I feel like you're like, I got this.
We're doing that now?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were setting me up to let me know what we're gonna do. Okay.
Nah, we on now. Everybody's watching you. Everybody's saying we are on.
My true confession?
Pick it. It could be about your favorite candy, whatever.
Yeah, okay. So like I really, really have always wanted to one day work with Robert Duvall, Bill Duke, Quentin Tarantino, and a couple other people as far as the ones who are filmmakers. So I never really talk about that. So yeah.
But one day you want to work with them?
I want to work with them. And John Singleton, may he rest in peace.
That's a good one.
That is
a good thing to put out there. That's a good thing to put out there.
It's not juicy, but it's
juicy. Like that is your true confession because we all have somebody we want to meet, work with. So I know Cinda has yours. I have mine. So go ahead, Cinda.
Well, there's a few, but Ava DuVernay, I would like to work with her. I know she got a crew of ladies that they do stuff together. And I don't know if I'd ever been included. I'm usually not including those kind of crews, but she's someone that I'd like to work with, her directing me. Also, I would love to work with a girl that used to be a friend of mine. I haven't talked to her in a very long time, but she is directing her tail off, and that's Victoria Mahoney. She's amazing. She's the first woman, and then she's a Black woman that was one of the directors on the last Star Wars movie. But I knew her back when, in the very beginning of my career, in the beginning of hers. I would love to work with her. And then there's, of course, a lot of wonderful actors I would love to work with. Jeffrey Wright being my number one choice when it comes to a male actor. And I know I'm taller than him, but I don't care. I want to play his sister or his auntie or his friend or his wife. I don't care. I just want to do a movie with Jeffrey Wright because I think I would learn so much from him. And plus, there's a bunch of other great actors and actresses that are working today that I would love to work with, but Jeffrey Wright is my number one.
All right, Disco, and then I'll go. Disco.
I want to be Sway's co-host.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. You can have it.
I want to be Roxanne Shantae's co-host.
Roxanne Shante. Okay.
Her show on Sirius.
I like that.
I want to be a once a month guest on CNN.
Hey, I like the way CNN goes. I like that. Once a month guest on CNN.
And Real Time with Bill Maher. I only want to be his guest on 420 Day. He supplies cake for everybody. Everybody loves cake,
I would love to see that show because you two together, oh my gosh, that would be ridiculous fun.
On 420 Day. So now that it's out in the atmosphere, let's make that happen. I like that. Wade, Roxanne Shante, Bill Maher, and CNN.
But I also want to
he got big dreams. Okay, go ahead.
No, I also want to do one more Urban Expression show.
Okay.
Just one more.
I think that's a doable one.
It's
Just,
definitely doable.
no, the way we used to do it, Shal, with
No, it's still
with the
doable. I mean,
with the
we're gonna
videos
do.
and everything, like the whole.
We're working on some stuff, so it's doable. It's doable. It's doable. It's doable. That's good stuff. All right, let me think. Now that you said, I don't know if I have those big thoughts. I just want to, of course, meet Tyler Perry, work with him, interview him. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and Devon Franklin. They are the ones who I want to meet, interview, work with, and I do believe it's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen.
I see that very clearly. Everything everybody said, I could see. I could see it. You know, Paula, she's humble, but she's a great writer. And Quentin Tarantino, he said he is, but he be pulling in some folks. You know what I'm saying? He works with people. So you never know. You never know. All right. Well, that was a good one. Thank you, Paula. So, okay, let's dive into you. So we can go from there. Paula, I worked with her on a film very recently, a short film that is going to be a long feature. And it's really beautifully done. I love being able to go home to work. My family is in Indiana and in Chicago, so I was able to go home and hang out and do some stuff with Paula. And I'm not going to talk about her movie too much because she's keeping it under wraps until it comes out. But great filmmaker. So Paula, you're on mute right now. Yeah. So can you introduce yourself to the audience, those that did not listen to the podcast, because many don't?
Yeah, my dog is having a conniption in the background.
That's okay.
Okay.
It doesn't
Paula
matter.
Coria from the land of corn, all the way in Indiana. That is it. I love doing film. I'm basic, and I don't mind. Ask a
Why
question.
basic? Why are you saying basic?
Because I'm not dissing myself. That's a compliment. I'm basic, and if you have questions, I'll answer. I just lead in.
So tell us about your childhood, because we didn't get too deeply into that. One of 13 kids.
Actually, I'm sorry. Let me correct that.
Okay.
I'm number 13 of 14.
Wow.
Oh, okay. You forgot.
I never got to getting around to when I first did my movie. I told you about things that happened, but when I was first an executive producer, that was in 2002. And then we, skip up to 2006, where I met China Doll, a good friend of mine. She's an actor, entertainer extraordinaire, and met her in 2006. And then it was in 2009 that she had one of the lead roles in the feature that I had done. So I wanted to clear that up.
So, okay. So we got all that. 14 kids.
Yes.
Your parents, that's a lot. I mean, I have one and I'm still stressing about it. Yeah. So tell me about growing up and how your creative nature came about in this place in Indiana with such a large family.
Well, I was such a large family. Well, first of all, my father was a widower with 9 children.
Okay.
We're gonna start. May he rest in peace. But he was a widower with 9 children, and my mom, she had 1 child. They got married, and 4 of us wonderful children came along. However, we weren't under the same roof, everybody at the same time. So it was always still crowded. That's why I require a lot of space. We're on top of each other. But
is that also why you only have 1 child?
No. As far as I was concerned, I couldn't have children, as far as I was concerned. Okay. And I was surprised when it happened. And I gave birth at the age of 43. So wow. She'll be 14 in May.
That is so cool.
Yeah, but no, I'm not that bad off that I didn't want to be bothered with another human. It's just, the sibling thing. I need more than enough room to turn around in. because, you know, our bathroom was small. You hit your knee on something or your elbow, you know, growing up.
You had to share the same room, same everything.
Same bed, same everything, you
Same
know.
bed.
Yeah, me and my sister, you know, and then
Mhm.
my other, yeah, it was crowded, but you know, here we are. I think everybody in my family, every single one of them, in my eyes, are so gifted, so talented. I mean, from their penmanship, I mean, beautiful. The guys and the girls. Mine, chicken scratch, got it honestly from my mother. May she rest in peace. But the creativity, I think it's more than a child's mind, you know, wandering and get to wander, which is helpful. But sometimes I think we do inherit things genetically. My mother, she could draw, I mean, really well. She could sing. I didn't get that one. My father, he could sing, he could whistle pitch perfect. He loved poetry. He loved electricity. He taught me to respect electricity. He did electrical work and different things like that, a lot of different things. But my mother loved to paint, you know, things or whatever. So I think somewhere in between there, I have a lot of brothers and sisters who are like artists, you know, could have their own galleries if they wanted to. But I try to force myself in those areas because I enjoy them, but they never came natural. Played the violin for years in high school, but it didn't come natural for me. And my teacher, Mr. Ron Nobles, the orchestra teacher, he told me one time, Paula, you got the longest fingers in this class and you don't know what to do with them. So I ended up at one year I got a merit, meaning I had somewhere to improve, and I did. But I love the violin, but it doesn't mean that it was necessarily for me. That's like my favorite color is purple. That doesn't mean I need to wear it and look like Barney. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so the creativity. I think because when I was so young at 12, when I knew that I wanted to live and breathe the arts, I tried to fill my life with things that were kind of artsy because I had no avenue or no known way to get to the film industry. You know, it just wasn't clicking. And sometimes when you're around people, whether it's family or friends who don't share that same dream of yours or interest, it might not occur to them how to help you, you know, fulfill your dreams. So I think just naturally I was imaginative anyway, probably because it was always on my mind, ooh, to be a filmmaker. And how would I get there? You know, my mind was constantly on that, but just that, I think that made me creative, trying to find ways to get into the industry. So in the interim, just being creative. I like to see things that are artsy, like even when as a nurse, to me, healing is an art, especially like when you're working with people with decubitus ulcers and the kind that you can, you know, go elbow deep into their body. You know, if I do what I'm supposed to do and the next shift or this person do what they're supposed to do, keep the continuity of care, you know, excellent. I believe that, you know, when, you know, months down the road, if everybody, you know, do what they do or do what they're supposed to do and not drop the ball. And then when you see the healing stages of that wound take place or either come to the end of it and they're healed, it does something for you. You know, it takes a kind hand. And sometimes I feel like in the world of entertainment, as far as art, you know, it can be therapeutic and healing as well. So I see it kind of one and the same. If that makes sense.
I think people forget that, you know, art comes in many forms. You know, Joe, hey DJ Joe Storm, he asked where she's from. Where you from? You're from Indiana,
Land of corn, Naptown.
Naptown, and one of the things that I always respect people. I mean, I respect people, period. But I really have a special feeling for people that are from places that are not entertainment meccas. You know what I'm saying? Places that, like if you're from Chicago, it's in your face. It's right there. You can do it. If you're from now Atlanta, it's there, California, whatever, whatever. But people that are from a place that's not necessarily known, you're known for corn, not necessarily known for an entertainment anything. And you're part of that pioneering thing for Indiana people making films. And you if you guys didn't hear the podcast, you don't know. She's planning on staying there and making it work there, happening there, minus the tax incentives, minus doing this stuff on your own. And I think I love going to places where they don't, it's Chicago, okay, somebody's shooting around the corner. But in Indiana, it's not like that. So I think it takes a special kind of person to take a stance and say, I'm gonna be here and do this and create opportunities for people here. And that's what you do. You're constantly creating opportunities for people. Is anybody else in your family like participating with the things you're doing?
I think everybody has their own niche, but I have a few actors, as you know, in the family. But other than that, as far as taking on the role of filmmaking or either a producer or a director or, I don't know, finance, or no, not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know of.
You said that you didn't know how to do it. You saying at 12 years old, you knew it, but you didn't know how you were going to do it. So how did you figure out the way from wanting to actually being a filmmaker in Indiana? How did you figure out the process?
Well, one thing has to do with finance yourself, get a job, finance yourself. Second of all, coming up, the age in which we live now, everything is computer this, computer that. And for me, it was like, do the legwork, get to the library. There was no computers, no personal computers anyway, let alone any cell phones back then. And then when we did have cell phones, there were no pictures on them and you couldn't surf the web. It was phone calls. So just a, decade upon decade upon decade of, I guess, what is it? Communication revolution or whatever. That's how it became, as a young person, I cannot put myself on a flight and go to Hollywood and explore, which is dangerous anyway. Excuse me, my voice is about 2 octaves low. I'm still kind of tired. I'm still kind of, for real. But just, I guess, part of it, natural progression, just growing up and saying, okay, it's enough of wanting, it's enough of desiring to do it. Literally, how can I get my walk to match my talk? I know what I want. And then it didn't fall out the sky. And what's that saying? If the mountain does not come to Muhammad, Muhammad must go to the mountain. So I have to go out and look and find out if I'm truly interested. I'm gonna go look. And so, that I did do online. I've had some rejection letters and stuff because I knew enough to be dangerous. I didn't know you don't send unsolicited things to DreamWorks and different ones. I mean, I couldn't be upset in the least at all because I didn't know. And then when you know better, you do better. And then you start learning how, and on top of that, they did not open it up, which was smart on their part because it was unsolicited. And I'm so glad they didn't open it because Cinda and I talked about how important it is if you want someone to read your stuff for it to be formatted properly. What format? I'm so glad they didn't open it. I'm so glad they didn't, because if they did accept it, they might have put a nasty note and just embarrassed me, hurt my feelings, and I have it still bound and closed to this very day. I haven't opened it, have like a little folder of rejections.
Yeah, I think it's really this whole evolution of learning that you have to go through if you're from a place where that is not the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's people that do things that's not the, people that come from a farm that end up, being a Broadway star, they amaze me, because they had nobody around to show them the way, and a lot of people say to me, you from Chicago, so you were no, when I was in Chicago, I had one teacher that really pushed me as an artist. But Indiana was where I was really, the acting and the singing really came to, but surrounded by farms, but I had my uncle, Did you have anybody in your life at all who was an inspiration for you when it came to filmmaking?
I would say probably because filmmaking takes different components to say, "Ooh, this is a filmmaker." May she rest in peace, Ruby Shaw Tyson. She was a librarian and one of the smartest people, or library scientists. One of the smartest persons I've ever known, and she helped me to see She helped me to have more clarity when I would write. When I presented her with something, one time I told her I want to write because I want to do movies, and I could see the movies in my head. And I was still young, and I was trying to get my thoughts to paper. And I do, a moment of transparency. I got a little ADD, a lot of ADD. So I would kind of go around the river and through the woods at grandmother's house before I get to my point. So even in my writing, it was kind of like that, but it wasn't so much like that because there was things I was skipping out. I could see it in my head, but it wasn't translating onto the actual paper. And because she was asking me about this thing I was telling her in my story. And I found myself explaining a lot as I'm telling her the story. And she says, "Paula, that's all it took." Well, she said, "If you have to explain it, you didn't communicate it in your writing." And so that helped me tremendously, where I don't think I had anybody else. And if I have, forgive me, charge it to my head, not my heart. But no.
Well, that's one is life-changing. One person that helps you can change everything. For like I said, when I was in Chicago, it was just that, besides my uncle, which was home, but my one teacher, my music teacher at Bennett Elementary School, was the main reason why she and my uncle, that I was like, I got to do this. So we're going to go to a break. This hour moves quickly, and come back and really dive into your stories. I wanted you to get into how you come up with your stories. Yeah, I really want to dive into that, because that creative process is very interesting to me. So we'll do that after the break. Everybody, Vaughn, yeah, she's got some serial thoughts. And hey, Malik, and blessings in disguise, Vaughn says yes. So you guys stick with us. We'll be back after this commercial break.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by DJ Kid Disco on the Grown Folks Radio. Yeah. Radio. So are you ready? How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The COVID.
Cinda Williams here, and welcome to the Grown Folks Radio World. Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I host the PPC Radio Show with Shelly Shell Williams.
Hey everybody, it's Shell Williams, Philly's Okra.
We got some important stuff to talk about.
Fridays at noon Eastern, I present the PPC Podcast. It drops on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. Please join me for real talk, great guests, lots of laughs, and powerful, precious conversations that can fill your self-help treasure chest with gems.
Listen. You only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC radio show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Williams.
Hi, this is Cinda Williams, and I am so blessed to tell you about a new book on survival called Faith, Failure, Success, Volume 2, Surviving the Storm. Erica Summers, Martha Chavez, Latricia Rice, Nicole Reed, Vanya Hudson, and I have come together to share our deepest challenges and how we overcame. Please check it out on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to Amazon.com/apply. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365. It's the PPC radio show. Hosted by Cinda Williams. Co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by DJ Kid Disco. On the Grown Folks Radio. Yeah.
Welcome back to the PPC radio show. We have been sitting here with Paula Correa, the Shelly Shell Williams, DJ Kid Disco, and I. DJ Kid Disco, did you want to say something, ask something? Because usually when you come on, just because you want to participate in some way. You want to say something? Or you just listening in?
Why? Wait a minute. You think I have something? Nah, I'm listening.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, every once in a while, you know, I listen.
You said every once in a while you tend to listen? Oh, man.
Oops.
That's all our blessings coming. That's all those blessings that people are going to get everything we just talked about. Quentin Tarantino, I hear you calling. He's coming for you.
Yeah. All right. So Paula, your stories, how do you come up with because, you know, everybody writes differently. Some people just completely make it up. Some people pull in experiences of their lifestyles or whatever. How do you come up with your storylines for your screenplays or your plays?
Well, I always tell people, be careful what you say around me. That wasn't copywritten. Be careful what you say around me. Okay. The thing that I think is a little unique about me might have to do with ADD. I don't know, but I'm not going to shut it off. And that is, I do not get writer's block. Never. So I can be in the middle of shooting a film or writing a film or eat anything and ideas will come and I have to stop and record it some way, whether it's written or, in the computer or voice, or whatever. And I keep myself open, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I try to not have a filter, like, because there are a lot of things I might not ever write, or some things I might write about. But I still will keep my mind open for those ideas. And like right now, I have so many movie ideas. Some things I have to file away because I'm previously busy, either in production, post production, pre production. And so I'll take that idea and I'll tuck it away and say, oh, that can be in a book. Oh, okay, that can be in a movie. Okay, that can be in a stage play. Or then sometimes I have some fresher ideas and go back to my arsenal and get all those ideas and kind of put some of them together, and some I don't. So it's a, I don't know, potpourri of things that happen, I guess.
And I was talking to somebody the other day about the podcast, and they was like, you're getting paid. I'm like, not yet financially with dollars, but I am getting paid tremendously with stories. I mean, every story I hear, I would probably never use someone's exact story, but it sparks ideas for other things based on what they're saying, because I'm telling you, some of the things I have heard are just like last week's guest. That blew my mind. I'm like, dang gone, her life is amazing. The things that she has lived through, and stories are starting to formulate. Not her story, but things that it sparked ideas for other stories that may or may not have happened. That's why they have that whole thing at the end of movies where they say, if this is similar to something, this is fictional, because it's all in the ether. It's all in the universe. It's all out there. All these stories, all these possibilities, all this creation, and we all have the ability to pull from it. So your story might be on TV. You're like,
that sound like me. Wait a minute. I remember talking to Cinda, and that sound like something I had said. But I just want to roll. If you want to talk about me, put me in it. No,
yeah. Because
put me in that role. But you talk about, when you said getting paid, and you talk about money, and you said how you started, right? So when do you get to the point of, you said, funding your dream through working? Do you still have to work, but now you're an entrepreneur? Do you have to still do both to fund the filming, to fund the vision of all those things, the projects you want to do?
I've yet to see a money tree.
Oh shucks, you ain't make that yet. Oh, now make that money tree. Where that at?
Yeah. I mean, if help or investors come, that's great. However, I won't be beholden to anyone if I do fund it myself. So it's kind of a sticky situation. I just don't want a rich Texan tycoon to come along and say, yeah, I got this money for you, but I need my niece to star in it. Like, sir, your niece is ugly and she can't act. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Ugly is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, beauty is in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But you mentioned, I heard that in the podcast, like one of those things that you just really want to be independent and not really work for anybody else in the film industry. What makes you?
The actual true quote is, because I was stammering because I'm still tired, I don't want to write for Hollywood, meaning if they're interested in anything that I write or do, I don't want it to be one of those, well, could you remove this, or could you put this in there, or could you, so where they're forming and shaping my baby that no longer looks like my baby. I want to write what I write. If they like it, fine. That's even better. But it's so hard to please them because I'm sure they want all these little elements of this and that could, dilute your story.
Honestly, your story, the one we're working on now, the one we did, could very well have been, it's a universal storyline. It did not matter that Black folks were playing the parts. It could have been anybody. And I have met multiple writers that write professionally, and no one knows who they are because people don't usually pay attention to who wrote something unless they also directed and starred in it. So I have a lot of Black writer friends in Hollywood who had to decide, if I'm going to make a living at this, I'm going to have to let them do what they want to. And too many have told me the story of they wrote a screenplay with a multi-racial cast, or they wrote a story about a Black cast or a brown cast, whatever. And they said, this is great, but we need these people to be white instead. And they had to come to the decision, am I doing this because I want my complete vision out there, or is this my job, and is this money? And I met this one guy, he wrote the most beautiful script. Oh my gosh, I don't think it ever got made because they always wanted to make it white characters. And he said, no, I'm not doing it. I think he let go some of his other things that weren't as close to his heart. But that one, he was like, no, if I can't get this made the way I see this made, because I think the story was close to his heart, then I'd rather it just be a story I wrote, and not get made, so I understand that. So have you written anything that you would be willing to just sell to pay for other things that you're doing?
Maybe a couple.
Huh?
Maybe a couple. Remember, I don't have an off switch.
Right.
So, but I still take pride in nurturing and, bringing up a baby, so to speak, my stories. And I don't sit there and burn up a keyboard 24/7 just because my switch isn't off, because we know there are rewrites and rewrites and rewrites to come and all, once you get your story down or whatever. But I think there's a couple I would be willing to, but at the same time, should I?
It depends.
I'm not asking.
Oh,
that was rhetorical.
Yeah, someone asked me that recently. They were like, do you have any throwaways? I was like, what does that mean? Do you have any scripts that you've written that you wouldn't mind just selling? Because there are so many companies right now that are looking to buy content. They want scripts, but they want to be able to buy them off of you and eliminate you from the script. They want to pay you off. You might get $150,000, you might $75,000, $150,000. So they're like, if you don't have throwaways, you need to write some throwaways because that can fund you writing your babies. That can fund it. And I was like,
But what if your throwaway became Harry Potter? Exactly. What if your throwaway became what's one of the other big ones? The Lord of the Rings.
Matrix.
Say it for the people in the back. Say it for the people in the back, Jill.
Right. For the Matrix. Okay. Exactly. And that can happen. And you just gotta let it go.
You just be like, oh my God, I got 150,000. They got 150 million.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying because way back in the day, Hallmark, the African American line, had bought an expression of mine and a concept of mine. And I guess you can say they were throwaways basically, because where I was getting something, the person that was handling that account, I'm sure they got something, So, but I don't know. It's just, anybody see the movie Crooklyn?
Mm-hmm.
The little girl, Troy.
Mm-hmm.
My mama would just be so mad if she knew you put me in polyester or put, took my beads out. I kind of feel that way about my writings. Somebody might be able to make a lucrative deal off of it, excluding me. But it's like, I don't want to see my baby from across the street in the real pretty bows. I want my baby on my lap in beads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what? It makes me think about years ago, my sister, she was always more advanced than me in so many ways. She's the youngest in the family, and she was, had a permit, drove, had a job before I did, all of that stuff. And she had this nice little Spectrum car, a Spectrum. And then probably, I don't know, maybe a month or 3 months later or something like that, she also had I think it was a 1970 blue Peugeot. And my mind was so small. I was like, so what are you going to do with the other car? And she's like, why can't I have both? So why come I can't raise my writings, my babies up? I never thought of that. Well, I can't have both. I can't have mine. It's kind of like Cadillac for people who are diehard Cadillac drivers and might not have that Cadillac money. They got the Cimarron or whatever, kind of like a brand name of a store, if I'm making any sense. In other words, I don't know if I want to do it as a throwaway, but I still want to roll the dice my way, put them into the film festivals myself. That's where I am.
The only way I do quote unquote throwaways, and they're not really throwaways to me, is when someone hires me to write. When I'm writing for someone else, it's not my babies. It's not my stories. It did not gestate in me. I mean, I've worked and written for other people who came to me and said, I need a writer. I know you're a writer. This is the story. And I have to create this whole thing. I have to write this whole thing from the beginning to the end. But I didn't come up with the idea. It was not my idea. But I'm very connected to these stories. But if this company that paid me to write sold it and they changed it and I didn't get any credit, but they paid me off, it wouldn't hurt me as much as if it was my own story that came from my soul, and my experiences and my spirit. Then I don't think I could do that. But when it comes to, because I've written quite a bit for other people, and I may not ever, you may never see my name out there. And it's almost like I'm a ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter is. There's a lot of ghostwriters in this world.
Yeah, you mentioned the one of my favorite movies. Oh my God, Sling Blade. You have You have something to do with that?
I did.
That's what I'm saying. That, I mean, and your name, I don't, your name's not. That's one of my favorite movies.
It was his idea. It was his story. There were characters he had been living with for a long time. He just was dyslexic. So he had a hard time writing this stuff down. And I'm creative too. So I sat down with him and I helped him. On the short film version because it was a short film first. But I didn't get any credit for that. But I didn't ask for any credit from that on the business level because I was being a wife at the time. I was being a helpmate. That's what you do, I think, but he never even said thank you to me, Now there was another story that was taken directly from my own experiences in my life and a movie that was made. That pissed me off. That was a problem for me because you take my life, you take my family, you take my stuff, and then you write this script and then sell it to Hollywood and make a freaking movie. And my family, we don't get any kind of compensation, nothing. That's the issue. Your Sling Blade, that's yours. But this other one, and I'm a writer.
So I don't have to enjoy it anymore.
Don't people do that all the time? But don't people do that all the time?
Yeah, but I want to know what the movie is so I can not like it if I actually like it. So I can
I'll tell you later. I won't do it publicly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but the movie is out already, right?
Been out, done. Yeah. And
I'm afraid I might enjoy it. That's the problem. And then find out
it was
that
a good
was stolen IP.
It was a good film, but it was my story. It was my story, my family. I'm a writer, but you know what? Whoever moves first. By then, he's a millionaire and a superstar and a Academy Award winner.
Wow.
What am I gonna do? Even though it's
Wow.
my story. I could have, if I had some money, maybe done some suing or something like that. But why waste my energy, time, and money on that?
But you know, that just leads me to the thought that you know how we talk to people when I don't know, whoever's single or not single, whatever, when you're dating or whatever, and you tell all you tell you like, oh yeah, this happened. You never know whether somebody's sitting back writing all the stuff that you saying, because you're like, yeah, I went through this. You know, that dude was this and that. You talk about all your stories. So somebody can
that happened to me. You know, it happened to me. Somebody
can just take your story.
interviewing me for one of their movies. They're gonna interview me, and they recorded it and took every word I said and put it into the movie. One of the characters, the main characters in the movie, every word they said was directly from me and my life. And I got zero credit. Zero credit. That wasn't no interview. He stole my words and my life. He stole my words and my life.
Is there a statute of limitation I know you're not gonna chase after it.
You had to copyright all your mouth. You had to copyright everything you say in life to actually keep from people from stealing it. You had to play.
Yeah, but it's different than like what she said. I hope you know, I'm listening to what you say. That's different than what this guy did. This guy recorded me. No, this is a different person, Vaughn. This guy recorded me, told me he was interviewing me because of my past experiences, and then took everything I said out of context and put it in his movie. And every line this woman said was me. Everything I said, word for word, out of context. And gave me no credit, nothing. And I was in this movie and eventually was taken out of the movie. And when we sat through the read through, I'm looking at him like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And he looks at me and smiles, and then later and says, are you excited? I used your words. I said, are you giving me credit? Since you know I'm a writer? Are you giving me credit? And he just walked away. I didn't get nothing. I didn't get nothing. And he's another big shot. Big shot, stealing somebody else's life and words.
Well, let me clarify something, Shelly Shell. I would never do anything like that. I'm talking in terms of people, saying things might be something funny, maybe not, but my creative juices, that's what I'm saying. Be careful what you say, because my creative juices get to going once I'm, in a conversation or hear somebody talking. I don't springboard necessarily off of people, but if it's funny, it's like my brain will take it and do a twist on it and give it some life. But that's why, because people try to use some of the stuff I said before. That's why I keep my stuff under wraps. I'm like, yeah.
Well, we're almost to the end, but I do want to say this. It's so funny. When I did your film, Paula, I didn't tell you this at the time because I knew you were overwhelmed. You got so much going on. But this role that I played, to me, I don't think the experiences were you, Paula, but she was you. I was being you so many times.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. The tone, not what she said, but the tone of how she said what she said was so you.
Well,
it was fun.
Well, okay.
It was so fun. It was so fun because some of the stuff that she said in this role, I was like, oh, I could hear Paula saying that.
I didn't ask you, but I was even wondering, actually, like 2 days ago, what your motivation was. I never asked you. You never asked me.
Mm-hmm.
What is my motivation? I'm like, she's a professional.
I love this role because it's nothing like me. This person is nothing like me. And I was able to really create this completely unique character, and a lot of it, not so much, like I said, the actions, but the tone of the way I presented the lines, the way I said the lines came from you.
So is that a real thing? Is that a real thing when you go to act or get ready to go act in the movie? What's my motivation? We've heard it in many different movies, but is that really the thing you're supposed to do? What's my motivation?
Well, if you don't know it.
Different. Everybody's different. Everybody does it differently. I do it, it depends on the film. This was a special case because I knew the writer. The writer happened to be the director producer. Not always is that the case. Most of the time I don't know the writer and I don't know their voice. you know. When I say voice, I'm not talking about so much what I hear, but the way they use words, you know. I don't know them, but Paula I know. So I heard her voice in this character and I was able to use it. And Paula, she's very humble and laid back and cool right now, but sometimes she's like, ADD, hey, let's go. And I was using that. I was using Paula's voice in it, and it was fun. It was so much fun.
Paula,
Probably all overwhelmed.
do you act at all, Paula? Because it seemed like you act.
What act?
You an actor?
Besides a fool? No, kind of, yeah, no, because I would get into, I don't do it anymore. It's okay, like I get into commercials. I do commercials. The last time I did a commercial was 2020, actually. Did one 2019 and 2020. Those are the last ones I've done. And the pay is okay. Okay, I'm gonna say that the pay is okay. However, when I first started doing commercials and getting on sets, I was trying to get my free education. Like Cinda asked, you know, like, what did you do? How did you get to learn how to do these things? I'm like, I got my education, you know, by going to sets, you know, on commercials. So that's how I learned how to do that. I think I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Shelley?
It was about acting. So in the commercials, you were acting.
I've had to jump in and play a part a couple of times because that's just the nature of how some things happen, and you might not have an understudy. And
Paula is funny as heck.
I can see
hilarious.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, but naturally hilarious. Well, if she just played herself in a movie, it would like be Medea. Always good, always funny. Always funny. Not like Medea, but your character, your personality is very funny. It's very funny. I enjoy it. All right, well, we gotta wrap it up. So Paula, how can people contact you, support you? Maybe they're an investor and want to let you just do what you want to do, but say, here's my money, do what you want to do. How do they reach you?
I can be reached, I don't know, smoke signal, Morse code, bat signal. I'm live for the arts, live_for_the_arts on Instagram. And I'm Paula Original account on Facebook. And right now, that's how you can reach me if you really want to. Get there, you can.
Y'all support her. Support her, sister. Shelley, you got something you want to share?
No, Saturday. Saturday is the big day. We will be on stage honored at the 30-year celebration for Urban Expressions and second year for Uptown Standard. That's going to be a great day. And of course, you can always follow me on Instagram at Shelley Williams.
All right. DJ Kid Disco, you didn't say anything today, but you got something to share?
Birthday. Today's my wife. I'm just saying happy birthday to my wife.
Yes, happy birthday,
Queen.
Carmen.
Anything else?
No, just to watch out for the podcast. Simply the Culture. Be on YouTube, Spotify, all the rest of that stuff.
All right, cool.
And I don't know why I was so quiet. I was just...
You know, I have to talk to you about that. We'll talk off the air. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Thank you, DJ, for the beats and all for the podcast you had.
Weren't they hot?
I didn't do the connection. You know, I did not do the connection until just now when you said, Paula, oh, that's why you were thanking me. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't understand that you were the Paula. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. So I have a show if you're in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, or anywhere nearby, and you want to come hang out with me. I'm going to be at the Naughty Lux Bistro singing a little show, 7 o'clock on this Friday, 3442 West 159th Markham, Illinois. And you can look on my page to get all the information. They are selling out. So get on there and get your tickets and get some great food and a nice little show. Thank you everybody online who's been chiming in. Oh, Friday, please check out my podcast with Nakia Bryant Sakula. She is an actress that I have, an actress, music producer that's coming on this week. So check out the podcast and join us again next week. Everybody, I love you all. Thank you all who have joined us on Facebook. Really love you and wish you the best. All right, that's all for this week. That's a wrap.